that I am an OFA alum, and I had so many fantastic teachers along the way. And I'm actually so grateful that I get to call a lot of them my coworkers today, which is really cool. The transition from calling them to Mrs. or Mr. to their first name has been crazy, but it has been so cool getting to work with some of the people that shaped me. And I actually didn't go to school for teaching, which a lot of us, I feel like, are in that same boat. And then we all kind of fall back into teaching. There's just something about teaching that is so powerful, and it's a job that I feel like the reward is greater than anything. And it's really a special job. Seeing the growth in students is what brings me back every day. I can have, a terrible night or a bad weekend, but I know that when I get in here, I have to be the best version of myself for these guys. And they expect that their teacher's gonna be ready to help them grow. And that's another thing I really love about this age group is they want to learn. Even if they're not going to tell me outright, I can't wait to learn this today, they genuinely want to be in school, they want to learn. And so helping them navigate that process is just an incredible feeling as a teacher. Yes, so the most rewarding part of teaching is definitely seeing that growth happen. And numbers aside, grades aside, just seeing the growth of an individual, seeing the growth of a student over the course of a school year is so rewarding. And making a connection with a kid who maybe hasn't made a connection with anybody else or doesn't have a connection outside of the school building, but being able to be that connection for a student and being a go-to person, whether it's academics, whether it is anything else, just being that person for a student is really rewarding. The most challenging part of teaching is probably struggling through that process of growth. Now, what I mean by that is not necessarily even the kids' growth, but my own growth. I feel like even just as a second year teacher, I'm still trying to kind of find myself as a teacher, but I think that the students kind of help shape me as I'm kind of helping to shape them. So I think the most challenging part of teaching is kind of navigating my own growth and making sure that I'm the best version of myself every day for these guys. I always say that even if kids do not like science, that is never my number one goal. They don't have to love the subject, but just being a kind human being able to be kind to your peers and be accepting and open-minded. It's so helpful as a teacher when kids are kind to each other. Like even just hearing hallway conversations or conversations when they're in here, when they are kind to each other, they just are in such a better mood. They feel better about themselves. They feel better about being here. So I think that's the number one thing I would want my students to take away from not just being in Miss Kelley's class, but just be kind to each other and be gracious.